All right, Shalom, Yasharala, Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushua, Bahasham, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacles of David scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Whomever you may be, wherever you may be, Shalom, Yasharala, Shalom. All right, so we're going to get into, according to the Bible, I believe this is number 71. Just continuing from number 69, where we talked about I believe it was in Deuteronomy 21, if I'm correct, but the law for warring with heathen nations and you being able to take their women. Yes, take their women, all right? Because you have camps out there and saying you're going off when you get an Edomite woman or any heathen nation and you gotta have an Israelite woman and right? And they're going off, all right? Because, well, otherwise that wouldn't be placed in the Bible. So you would take her, all right? I don't know, like like the Japanese women. I'm not saying they were wearing this back then, but they wear the little kimonos and little looking like the geishas with the white face and the little painted on lips or whatever. All those clothes, they gotta come off. All right, you strip off the clothes of her nation, her people, and you give her pretty much clothes of her captivity, if you want to put it like that. But some Israelite garments. She put those on, shave her head off, cut her nails. She mourns over her family for a whole month, right? And then eventually, after that month is over, you're able to go in and take her. Meaning what? You're able to lie with her, all right? She probably even birthed a child to you, okay? So if she hasn't gotten over after that 30 days, it doesn't matter, all right? But if she did get over it, I guess it'll make it easier. Okay, but either way, whether she's over it or not, she's given the time of mourning. She shaved her hair, pair her nails, so on and so forth. You can go in and take her, right? And that is what the scriptures say. So it's when men teach otherwise, it's basically really based off of their emotions and how it looks, because a lot of these people have this all black thing, black, 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 right? And that's going off. Now, that's not always where it stems from, but sometimes it stems from that, because sometimes it's just an Israelite thing, but that's still going off because an Israelite man can have any woman he wants. All right, because how else could you explain Solomon? He had 1,000 women, and only 700 of those were Israelite women. We know because, well, Israelite women become wives, but a heathen woman can never be your wife. She can be a lesser wife, which is known as a concubine, and he had 300 of those. So it goes to show you that Solomon had 300 women of other nations, and it was never him having 1,000 women where he went off. Okay, so let's get on with it. Deuteronomy 22, because this is something that's, well, not for those that understand the truth. It's not controversial, but for others, it is a controversial topic, right? So, but we're going to tell you what the Bible says, regardless of what people think, say, or feel. So it says, if any man take a wife and go in unto her, what does it mean to go in unto her? And matter of fact, let's read this in the NLT, maybe. Let's see how it reads in the NLT. Suppose a man marries a woman, but after sleeping with her, he turns against her. And then what is marriage? Right? Sex is marriage, right? Not having some big ceremony, putting a ring on nobody's finger. When you have sex with the woman, you have made her your wife. That is the ancient custom of our people. Sex is marriage. That's why you have a thing about consummating the marriage. All right, having sex to finalize the marriage. All right, well, let's keep going. So as a supposed man marries a woman, and what we want is further down below, but all of this is somewhat in line with the same topic, which is why we're reading all of this. So it says regulations for sexual purity. And Lord, will you be edified by this? It says, suppose a man marries a woman, but after sleeping with her, he turns against her and publicly accuses her of shameful conduct, saying, when I married this woman, I discovered she was not a virgin. So basically, he's saying that because, the fathers would control, who that daughter was going to be married off to and so on and so forth. And there's a lot that goes into this. So, but so basically he's saying that in this scenario, he's saying that, hey, this man gave me his wife. He gave me his daughter to be my wife. And when I went in unto her, she wasn't a virgin. But you might ask, well, Brother Mike Allah, how would he know? Because she would have something that's called the token of her virginity, which is where the very first time, she's penetrated, she's going to bleed. And their family, the father in particular, would keep that cloth that she bled on as a token of her virginity. So if a situation like this arose where a man says that, hey, your daughter is not, a virgin, because maybe he just turned on and hated her, and he just wanted to get rid of her some kind of way. He tried to use that, against her, to try to get rid of her, send her back home, or whatever the case may be. Father be like, no, you're lying. See, this is the token. Remember, you forgot about this. So it says, and see, you're not going to learn these things in the churches, because the churches are just full of folly and nonsense, man. Okay, they still teach. It's 2025. They still teach you about Jesus, a made-up God, about who goes back to Serapis Christus, that was made up by a Greek general. But they'll never tell you that, now will they? It says, and publicly accuses her of shameful conduct, saying, when I married this woman, I discovered she was not a virgin. It says, then the woman's father, here it is, what we just talked about, right? Then the woman's father and mother must bring the proof of her virginity to the elders as they hold court at the town gate. All right, because you will have elders that were at the gate. I believe that's in Amos. I want to say it's Amos 5. It says they hated them that rebuked at the gate. It might be another chapter, but I believe it's in Amos, where it says they hated him that rebuked at the gate, because you will have elders at the gates. All right. So it says, then the woman's father and mother must bring the proof of her virginity to the elders as they hold court at the town gate. All right. What's the proof of her virginity? The token, all right, of her virginity, is what it says in the KJV. I actually should have done this on my other device to get that split screen, but it's okay. We're in it now. Here it is. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. All right. So there's one whole portion that says the tokens of the damsels. So we have to pull this up. And the word there is naira. So it says girl, damsel, female servant, young woman, marriageable, young woman, concubine, prostitute, maid. So, because they bunched everything together. We wanted token, but I'm pretty sure token will come up again by itself, because that's what we want, and we'll prove it, all right? So for now, let's keep reading. It says, the tokens of the damsels of virginity unto the elders of the gate in the city. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter, because they're basically holding a little council here, right? This is a serious matter, all right? So they're going before the elders at the gate, right? The city gate. So it says, and the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hated her. And lo, he hath given occasions of speech against her. Well, in this case, what was it? He says that she wasn't a virgin, right? It says, I found not thy daughter a maid, right? I don't know why this lit up. Let's get it anyways. The word there is bathawalium. All right, going to that root, there's right there. Bathawala, all right. So virginity, going to the word bathawala, virgin, all right, bathawala. I think there's another word, ailama. We're not going to get into those different words there as of now. I just want to make this point made, kind of stay on point with that. So it says, I found not thy daughter a maid. Basically, he's saying that this guy says, I gave my daughter to him. Now this guy's saying that my daughter is not a virgin, right? And yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. You see, the tokens. It says, and they shall spread the cloth. There you go. So we don't have to even go into the word, because it's telling you what the token is. What's the token? It's the cloth that was spread when they consummated the marriage, meaning when they had sex to make the marriage official. All right. Not put rings on fingers and make it official. Having sex to make the marriage official. That's the ancient custom way. All right. And so because she's supposed to be a virgin, she's going to bleed. So before they went into their little marriage chamber, right, there was a cloth that was laid down, and then, whoever, or, however it happened, I don't know if someone set the room up for them, or, they do it themselves. But either way, they would, do their thing on that cloth. She's going to bleed. All right. That cloth will be kept by the father as a proof, as we just mentioned. And here is why. Because when you go into we'll just say court of law, for lack of better words, because they're going to the elders of the gate, right? Because of the situation that arose. The accusation of this man is saying that the daughter that this man gave me was not a virgin. And the father is saying he's lying, because I have the proof right here. This is the token. Let's read it again. and they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. Right? And it says, I found not thy daughter and maid, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. And the elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him. Meaning what? Where there's Yasar. To chasten, discipline, instruct, admonish. And they would do it what? Publicly. All right? See, correct. Teach. It also says to teach. Teach him a lesson, right? So verse 19 says, and they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver. All right, immerse. All right, he has to pay the father. It says the word there is anash, to fine. You see, fine, immerse. So that's the punishment part, or part of the punishment, right? He had to pay a fine. All right. So Deuteronomy 22:19, they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver. All right. Now I'm not going to go into all the weight of that, how much it will be in modern day times. You can, look that up on your own. I'm not really interested in doing that right now. It's not really important for this lesson. It says, and they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he had brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel, right? Because he basically said that she wasn't a virgin, which she was a virgin. The father showed the proof that she was because he kept the token, the cloth, right, of her virginity. And so he had to pay the fine. You see, her reputation, right? He basically brought, shame on her, right? Because he probably, saying, oh, she's not a virgin. She's not a virgin. Like they like your lie, don't mind, right? She wasn't a virgin, okay, but she was, and that's why that token of her virginity was so important. It says because he had brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel. I believe you just went to that word, didn't we? Yeah, Bathawala. So it says, and she shall be his wife. He may not put her away all his days. All right. So he has to what? Pay 100 shekels of silver. And then he can never divorce her. He has to keep her always because he basically lied. All right. Because there's no way you don't know. Right. But that's, once again, that's the whole purpose of that token. How her virginity is so important. That cloth. So Deuteronomy 22:20 says, but if this thing be true, all right, so now we're dealing with a different scenario. Going back to the top here, where it says, and if a man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her and give occasions of speech against her and bring up an evil name upon her and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid. So now we're dealing with the scenario of the same thing. He's saying that she wasn't a virgin, but all right, she basically, well, let's just read it so we can make the point clear. So verse 20 says, but if this thing be true, all right, hold up. I jumped down too far. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, verse 20 says, but if this thing be true and the tokens of virginity be not found for the damsel, all right, so the same scenario, the man saying, this man gave me his daughter to wife, and when I found out she wasn't a virgin, all right. So it says, but if this thing be true and the tokens of virginity be not found for the damsel, all right, so the father's not able to produce because they went to the elders that were at the gate, right? And one of the first things the elders are going to ask is, hey, where's the token? All right. And they're going to know what it's talking about. It's not going to be like, token, what do you mean token? What's the token? No, everybody know. Everybody knows, right? So one of the first things the elders are going to ask, where is that token of a virginity? And the father's not going to be able to produce it. You know why? Because they put a fast one on this young man. The father, the daughter, maybe the mother was in it too, all right? But this father who gave his daughter off to this man pulled a fast one on him. And he went in unto her and found out she wasn't a virgin. Because remember, sex is marriage. So once he goes in unto her, he made this woman his wife. But yet, she wasn't a virgin. All right? So somewhere along the line, she done stepped out the house without her father knowing. And maybe father ended up finding out. And then he kind of, of course he's going to be mad because he has to one day give her away or she's going to forever be in his household. So this is the scenario of pulling a fast one on someone, really, to say the least. Let's keep reading. But if this thing be true, and the tokens of virginity be not found for the damsel, then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones that she die. You see, that's a very serious accusation, man. You see, that's why Yahweh shall call this an adulterous generation, man. Because none of these women are virgins, all right? You're supposed to have a virgin. So when men, once you get a woman, all right, she's done been with, probably 10 other guys, right? So that scenario here was very serious back in the ancient times, man. Okay, if she wasn't found a virgin, but yet she was given off to a man to be his wife, and that was found out, it says, "And the men of her city shall stone her with stones." And it said the men of her city, so you know this was a heavy beating right here with these stones, man. Then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, right, to the door of her father's house, because that will also bring shame upon that man's house, right? Because remember, the whole, we'll say, court was held with the elders at the gate. So you might not know where this man lives or whatever, because there's so many Israelites, right? So no, they would go to this man's house. So everybody would know this is that house that this occasion, sprung forth from, right? They shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones that she die, because she had wrought folly in Israel. I guess we get the word folly just for the sake of this portion of the lesson. The word is nabalah, senselessness, disgraceful folly of immorality, profane actions by what? All right. Going out there and stepping out and opening up her legs, right? It says to play the whore in her father's house. You see, straightforward, man. So shalt thou put away, so shalt thou put evil away from among you. See? Verse 22 says, Deuteronomy 22 and 22, if a man be found lying with a woman. So now we're getting to the other scenario here, stemming off from what we mentioned from uh the last session there in number 70, number 69, according to the Bible, number 69, right? So it says this is a controversial topic because a lot of men, they get into their emotions instead of just telling what the scriptures say, or they throw in the fact that they have children, daughters in particular, which we understand that. All right, that's not what it's about. This is about what the truth of the matter is. Okay, not about going out and doing these things today, because we don't tell anyone to do that. You go do that, that's on you. All right, we're just telling you what the truth of the matter is, not that you should do these things today. All right, but it has to be said because people are trying to twist the words up and take it out of context, or whatever. Like I said, they get into their emotions. So Deuteronomy 22 and 22, if a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, all right, so a married woman, period, all right, straightforward, then they shall both of them die, both the men that lay with the woman and the woman. So shalt thou put away evil from Israel. Why? Because they already knew the law. They knew it was wrong. All right. That man knew that she belonged to another man, but he still went in unto her. And that woman knew that she belonged to this other man, and she still agreed to have sex with this other man. All right. So they both will be put to death. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed, basically engaged unto a husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. Why? All right. Well, one for one is still the same scenario. A wife, all right, or a woman to be a man's wife, which is basically someone engaged. Okay. So it's the same scenario, but there's a couple extra things here. It says, because she cried not, being in the city. So basically, she was engaged. The man had sex with her. All right. He took her, had sex with her, and she didn't cry out. So basically, she enjoyed it. It was pleasurable to her. She didn't say anything. She went along with it, right? Not being in the city, and the man, all right, because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife, so thou shalt put away evil from among you. Let's read it again. They shall bring them both out unto the gate of the city, of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel, because she cried not, because she knew she was engaged to someone else, but she still had sex with another man, all right, being in the city, and the man, because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife, because she's a virgin at this point, all right? Because remember, sex is marriage. And so when these women were being given off, they were virgins, all right? So you have to understand that. That's a key thing you have to understand. So this man is taking a woman that's engaged to someone else, all right, and breaking her virginity, see? So the word there is aina, ana. It says, let's see if we can find what we're looking for. You'll see, to be afflicted, be humbled. Let's go up here. See, look. It says defile. All right. Look, force. All right. Humble. You see, Ravish. Let's get the word ravish, right? Ravish. It says seize and carry off someone by force. Yeah, because in today's society, when you hear the word rape, people automatically think somebody got beat up and ran into, right? Well, that's not the definition, man. Okay. Now that can happen in some scenarios, but that's not just the ultimate definition. That's just American foolishness. When you hear the word rape, you automatically think some woman got beat up and taken away in the alley, right? It says seize and carry off someone by force. It says fill someone with intense delight in rapture. You see, what's the intense delight? Sexual pleasure. You see, so ravish. All right. So yeah, so it says humble. He humbled her. Okay, he took her virginity. It says he hath humbled his neighbor's wife, so thou shalt put away evil from among you. You see, verse 25, Deuteronomy 22 and 25. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, basically same similar scenario, quite different though. Engaged woman, right, in the field, all right, and the man force her, all right, force her and lie with her, then the man only that lie with her shall die. Why? Because he took her by force. And as we get further down, you see why he only died. But let's get the word force real quick. All right. So the word there is chazak. Strengthen, prevail, harden, be strong, become strong. See here. To prevail upon, right? Look, it says take hold. You see? All right, so let's go back. So let's read it again. But if a man find a betrothed damsel, an engaged woman, right, in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lie with her shall die. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter. All right. So it says, for he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried. That's the key thing. He's found her by herself. She was engaged. She cried out, no, no, stop, leave me alone. No, 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 I'm engaged to such and such, well, leave me alone, leave me alone. But he still took her, right? For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. So there's nothing that she could do because, contrary to popular belief, women are not stronger than men. Okay? They have that delusional thought, but they're not, all right? But anyways, it says, Deuteronomy 22 and 28, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, all right, meaning a woman who's not engaged and who's not already married, right? But in this particular case, it's just saying who's engaged, because it leads up to the same thing. If you're engaged, you're to be married. So whether married or engaged, okay. So it says, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, all right, not promised to another man, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found, right? And let's get lay hold on. It says lay hold on her, right? Where there's tapash. Look, to catch, handle, lay hold, take hold of, seize, wield. You see? It's like going into that word we just went to, ravish, right? A sexual pleasure. You see? Look, take hold. All right. Lay hold of. See, matter of fact, let's get that word. Oh, I got the wrong one. Let me go back. Let's get the word seize. Let's see what comes up, right? Seize. It says take hold of suddenly and forcibly. 2, take an opportunity or initiative eagerly into self. So basically going with 1, take hold of suddenly and forcibly. All right. So what we're saying is there are laws behind this. It's not that men just run around and deal with whatever. No, because hey, there's certain scenarios where maybe he's not from like some wealthy family, or maybe he's already off on his own, but he's still not wealthy, right? So you would think twice before going and taking a woman, right? Because it's in the law for you, it's able for you to do so, but you think twice about doing it because you have to take this woman as your wife. You may have to pay a dowry, and you may not be able to afford it, so it'll make him think twice. The problem is with the lack of understanding is that people put their emotions into where the scripture should be, okay? And this happens a lot in the churches, man, where they lack understanding. For one, the spirit's not in the churches, okay? He's talking about Jesus Christ, right? The spirit's not in the churches, man. The Lord tells you that in the Bible that he's not in the churches. I bet they never read that in the Bible, though, okay? harlot houses, right? But two, people also always put their emotions where a basic understanding of the scriptures is. So Deuteronomy 22 and 28, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found, when the man that lay with her, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver. You see? He shall pay, it says, and shall, and hold on, let me read it again. Then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver. All right, because it was the father's choice really to give the daughter away. Right, women have a lot more liberty now, which that's going to be done away with when the kingdom is established. All this liberty, all this running around through the cities and streets, and all this extraness these women do, it's going to be cut out, man. Okay, because order is going to be put back. All right. And you see these modern day women hate order, okay? Which is why you hear a lot of them being mouthy, all right? And so on and so forth. We don't have to even get into that. You get the point, okay? They're not submissive to their men like the Bible says. You hear a lot of women talk about, oh, I love God, I love the Bible, but then they're never submissive to their men, right? So that order is going to be brought back. But let's keep reading. It says, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, all right, because he didn't go to the father, inquire of his daughter, try to get her on his own. He took her when he saw her, right? And she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. And I believe we went to the word humbled. If not, we're going to go into it now. Yep, anah. It says what? All right. Let me get it. I think it was right here. You see? It says what? Defile, force, ravish, as we just went to the word ravish. You see? He humbled her. He took her, and he took her virginity from her without her father's consent of giving her away as a wife to this man. Right? Shall pay the father's, he shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. A man should not take his father's wife, nor discover his father's skirt, meaning your mother, right? Or even your mother-in-law, okay? Or even if it was your mother-in-law and your father's not with her anymore, that's still going off too, all right? But yeah, that was the whole point, Internet 29 of this lesson, right? Going into this whole so-called grape thing, right? People lack understanding because they put their emotions here. They think about their children. We understand you have children, all right? So we're not saying, do this today. We're not even saying do it, period, all right? We were speaking on simply what the scriptures say in the ancient times, all right? Because the scriptures also talk about, because you have to understand in the ancient days, all right, because the Bible talks about the flower of her age. So what's the flower of a woman's age? When she first hits that puberty point, all right, when she has basically her first cycle, when she's basically on that, finally had her first cycle, that means she's able to bear children, all right, which is why you would see like could be at 13 years old, she's able now to be given off to a man. You see, Joseph and Mary. You think Mary and Joseph were the same age? Of course not. Mary was way younger than Joseph, but they still had sexual intercourse. Not some angel, because angels don't have sex. The Bible tells you that. That's just some Christian bugged out nonsense, right? Angels don't eat, they don't sleep, they don't drink, they don't have sex. Okay, we can prove that in the book of Tobit. All right, you will see the illusion of an angel drinking or eating or whatever, but they don't do any of these things. All right, and there's other scenarios that comes from that particular point. So Joseph was way older than Mary, but he took her, all right? The reason why he wanted to put her away and hide her is because he didn't want to bring shame upon the family, and she would probably been stoned to death, okay? Because they were already having sex before they actually had the ceremony, the marriage ceremony, and going to the marriage chambers to actually consummate the marriage, which was sex. And she wasn't going to do what? Be able to produce the token of her virginity, which we just talked about, okay? So yeah, we speak about the flower of a woman's age, but we don't tell you to go and do these things today. We're simply speaking on what the Bible says, and some men get into their emotions instead of actually just saying what the Bible says, because we're not telling you to do these things today. But that's where the lies come in. Oh, these men, they're rapists, they're do this, they're out there taking little girls and all those things are lies, and men have to pay for those things if they don't repent, man. But I think we pretty much covered the lesson. All right, it was straightforward. All right, if you can receive it, you can receive it. If you don't understand it, then hey, there's nothing else I can say. So Lord, will you edify to next, and that's what I'm going to say. Shalom.